Hey everybody, my name is Zach Weavick, and this is my kind of review on my action research project that I did for graduate school for educational leadership. My action research project was based here at Bonholm Middle School and High School. I am serving in my second year currently as the Dean of Students for grades 6 through 12. Ultimately, that job title has kind of evolved over the last 2 years since I've taken over. I'm actually in my second year with it, with a new superintendent this year than what I had last year. I've been actually very fortunate to be given a lot of responsibilities that a secondary principal would do and fulfill, and so it was very nice and easier for me to perform my action research project in a scope that would really help to improve not only the school district, but hopefully also what I've worked a little bit hand in hand with our behavior interventions and discipline matrices of how to improve some of our behavior trends that we have at the school. And so, kind of a little bit of a background. When I got here last year, we did not have a behavior matrix in place. Our behavior handbooks were very vague. It did not provide much of a roadmap for me in handling any discipline that took place. Basically, any offense that took place gave me the latitude to do what I felt was just and right for discipline consequences. And so I felt the need to take on a little bit more ownership with it and to evolve our handbook a little bit and put in a behavior matrix. So I put a lot of work into that this past summer, looking at other school districts, looking at what they did for behavior matrix, and kind of try to adapt something into the Bonholm School District, and that got approved for this year by our school board. And so my action research project was basically comparing the 2 years between behaviors. I took the behaviors that we saw through the first 3 months of the school year last year in 2022, 2023. And compared them to the number of behavior referrals that we have had here in the first 3 months of this school year. That behavior data came straight from teachers importing behavior referrals through a Google form that all teachers have access to. When they fill out that Google form, they have to provide what the behavior was. They have to categorize it, describe where it took place, what the specific behavior was, and then also provide some type of intervention. This was actually something that was done last year as well as this year. It's through our PBIS program, so it tracks the behaviors. Now, the difference between last year and this year was those interventions that took place. We were much more concise as what the behaviors were and what the follow through was going to be, as far as interventions between making sure we're keeping kids in classrooms, doing when we have to issue detentions, in school suspensions, things like that. So what came from the action research was there's definitely been a drop in the number of behavior referrals between 2022 and this school year. The interventions that were used were different between the 2 years. But not only did the number of behavior referrals go down, so did the number of repeat offenders with multiple behavior referrals. Those were kind of the two target areas I looked at in gathering my data. And then the second piece of gathering data is I also polled teachers on the effectiveness of the implementation of the behavior matrix. And it was overwhelmingly came back that the behavior matrix has made a direct impact of lowering the behavior referrals throughout the course of the two school years, and also cut down on the behaviors that are taking place and being seen in the classrooms. Again, to chalk it up to the different interventions that are being used to really curb the behaviors, and so we're seeing a positive trend in some of the behavior. Now, some of the difficulties when I reflected on the action research and finding the data it was also very limited data because of the time frame of needing to do the action research project here in November. I could only take the first 3 months of data between this year and compare it to the first 3 months of last year to make it comparable. It'll be really interesting to actually look at the data over the full school year to see what changed, especially in the number of in-school suspensions and out-of-school suspensions, as we're really trying to keep kids in school and trying to cut down on, you're always going to have your major behavior occurrences happen, where some of those are going to have to take place, but trying to stop the repeat behaviors before they escalate into larger scale things. Um, and then the other thing that was kind of a hindrance as I reflect on the action research was staff input and also documentation. We have some staff that's really, really good at inputting those behavior referrals, and we have some staff that aren't as good at putting in those behavior referrals or being as thorough when they put those in. And so between staff input and the limited data, those are probably the two hardest things when I reflect on the action research project, of not having the complete full data with it. Overall, as a leader, I think the action research, especially being in the role that I'm in right now, it really helps to constantly, you're always evaluating your school district, and how to be better and how to be more effective. We have a lot of data at our fingertips as school leaders, and how we can use that data to improve our school and improve our students' learning abilities and the environment that they're learning in is huge. And so taking the time to do the action research and formulate a question and then do a study to see where we're at, and to see how you can take that data and that research and to improve your school district is absolutely huge, and something that we need to do as leaders consistently. We got to use that research to drive the decisions that we make, and again, it's all in the betterment of our students in our school. Overall, it was a really good experience for me to go through. It was a very worthwhile project for me to go through, and I'm very glad that I was able to come up with the conclusion that the behavior matrix that we're putting in place has been effective, and we're working in the right direction to make a positive environment for kids.